to Dickinson, I was unsure if the people and the place shared my values. But over the years, the place changed, people changed, and I've changed. As humans, we too easily fall into the habit of creating hierarchies, assigning value, or lack thereof, to human life, and Dickinson is no exception. But because of my time spent here in classes, and service learning, and studying abroad, I now understand just how destructive this can be. Perhaps I can sum this up by telling you the story. This year, I attended a dinner at Dickinson for a high-ranking government official who came to campus to talk about the war on terror. Over dinner, he was describing some of the frustrations the government had in locating Osama bin Laden in Afghanistan. The guest specifically mentioned the setbacks that occurred when then Secretary of State Madeleine Albright blocked the United States from dealing with the Taliban until they improved their record on human rights, when he said, and I quote, "Who the hell cares about an Afghan woman?" There was silence around the table after his statement, and my eventual response was clumsy and certainly less than eloquent. But I sat reassured, because by simply making eye contact with the other student at that table, I knew that I was not alone in my conviction that this was wrong. I understood that this man had been in the business of protecting U.S. and only U.S. interests. But I do not understand being flippant and condescending about another person's rights. I tell this story because to me it represents the most important facet of Dickinson's motto, engage the world. Engage the world can mean living abroad or studying foreign languages, but the most meaningful connections are made at the personal level. Engaging the world, then, can happen anywhere, certainly on a global scale, but it can also happen at the cafeteria table by telling your friends not to make fun of the kid sitting by himself, or not to use the word gay as a slang term for something undesirable, and not to joke about sexual violence. It means challenging those habits and preconceived notions, like those of a man who couldn't comprehend that students sitting across from him in Carlisle, Pennsylvania would care enough about an Afghan woman to stand up for her. Through our Dickinson education, we have learned to identify the kind of thinking that leads to injustice. And if we can challenge it at the cafeteria table, or the workplace, or with our own friends, then maybe, just maybe, it will never make its way to the tables of our government, or corporations, or the United Nations. The word injustice conjures up images of genocide and torture, but all too often the people affected by those atrocities become statistics, and the humanity, the simple connection of one human being to another, is lost. In all cases of injustice, from the cafeteria table to issues of human rights, it is not an option, but our responsibility to stand up and say that this is unacceptable. No individual or institution is perfect. There's work to be done, but with just a little determination, it is work that can be done. Not every one of us will become government officials, but it is not so unlikely that the quality of human lives will depend on decisions made at tables where we sit. And as Dickinsonians, we should have higher standards and expectations for citizenship. So stop waiting for an opportunity to change the world. Begin today and continue tomorrow to be ever alert for those small, but absolutely critical opportunities to correct injustice. Thank you.